but have not had a meeting with LeBron himself or even had any, quote, real dialogue with him. LeBron can opt out of his current deal and become a free agent as early as next week. All right, we're joined now by Rob Parker. Rob, what do you think LeBron needs to do?
What a shocker. He hasn't talked to the Cleveland people?
We still at 0 dark 30.
Yep. Is that what it is? I say this. You know, I mean, it's obvious he doesn't want to be there and he's going to move on, and I get all that. But I think LeBron would be making a big mistake if he comes west. I just think that it doesn't make sense. And when you line up what he'd have to go through, everybody's automatically, oh, his kid's going to school in L.A., they got 2 houses in L.A., so L.A.'s the spot. L.A.'s not the spot unless you're bringing a different team with you. So unless there's some grand plan and 2 other guys are coming, L.A.'s not the spot, not with what they have. Then you talk about Houston. I know Chris Paul's is one of his best friends.
Yeah, I think he might be his best
friend, right?
Closest friend.
His best,
yeah.
Okay. And he's trying to convince him and all this other stuff to come to Houston. Problem with Houston is 2 things. A, that horrible playoff James Harden shows up in the playoffs every year, and Chris Paul normally gets hurt in the playoffs every year. So you look at that and you go, is that where you want to hitch your wagon for the next 3 years? So I'm not buying that as well. And then, obviously, Golden State is out west. Who knows? Can you get through them? You might not even make it to the finals, get knocked out in the first or second round. So I'm all in on Philadelphia. I still think that that's his best option because it's not a one-time, one-shot deal. You got 2 young stars who can grow, and maybe LeBron wins them the first one, and they help them down the road win another one. You know what I mean? As they mature and as they get better, and Embiid and Simmons. So I just like that. If LeBron is really serious, and then you have Boston still there, that's the one team you got to get through, not 4 or 5 teams out west. So if I'm LeBron, I take a serious look at Philadelphia, and it might not be as glitzy, and also you're trying to be the GOAT and have people look at you differently. Go to Philadelphia where they haven't won in 30 years and be the difference maker and deliver a championship to a 3rd different franchise and one that was downtrodden, that has some young stars but isn't ready to win yet without them.
Time out. Are you sure you're not in Philadelphia setting yourself up to be 3-7 and 3-8 in the NBA Finals?
Well, you could be, but at least you would have a shot at going. I'm just saying, you come out west, I'm not convinced that LeBron gets to the finals out west, and you might get knocked off before that. So then you can look at it and say, okay, you come to L.A., where the Lakers have a tradition of winning, not lately, but they have a tradition of winning, and now all of a sudden, getting to the playoffs and getting knocked out in the first or second round, nobody in L.A. is going to think that that's cool or is that great.
Go ahead. You want me to go?
Yeah.
So there's only one idea here that works for me. There's only one way LeBron is going to win another ring, and that's to call Kevin Durant and convince him to join LeBron in Los Angeles. And there's only one place that suits my eye test for LeBron, and it's with the Lakers. I do think he was born to finish with the Lakers, like maybe not to be a Laker, but to finish with the Lakers. Doesn't it fit your eye that he would be in purple and gold on the Showtime stage?
But you're saying, I'm saying, I hear you because you're asking him, you're bringing the second best player
that's
in
the only
game.
way.
That's
I don't like any other scenario except that one.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
If you call Kevin, who, by the way, is an unrestricted free agent as we speak, and you say, come with me to L.A. and let's do something special. Kevin just did 2 special things. He just won back-to-back finals MVPs and 2 rings.
Kevin Durant would be the ultimate Benedict Arnold if he made that move.
All right, but you said he was Benedict Arnold when he left Russell Westbrook.
He is. He'd be Benedict Arnold twice.
So Benedict Arnold's still Benedict Arnold. He doesn't get to change.
And he might have 3 or 4 rings that you couldn't argue with. Right. You still have to sit back and say, he did that. Because I was with you. I didn't blame him for leaving Russell Westbrook because Russell's hard to play with. And I think Kevin finally decided, I just can't win a championship even though we were up 3-2 on Golden State.
And they also went to a title, to a championship once. So you can't say that.
No, that's true.
They didn't have any success together.
Okay, but I do love that scenario beyond anything else that L.A. could present. I just don't love the Kawhi, Paul George, Wingman scenario. I just don't love it. I don't think LeBron could dethrone Kevin Durant and Golden
And
State.
I don't think San Antonio, anyway, Skip, would be willing to help Kawhi get what he wants and help the Lakers.
I mean,
in
unless the
process.
Lakers, if they did the Lonzo Kuzma, Brandon Ingram package, that would work. I think R.C. Buford would jump.
They
at
would
that.
take Lonzo Ball and his dad
And his
in
dad.
San Antonio.
I believe they would, just because Coach Popovich would like to coach Lonzo Ball. You'd be their kind of player. And all of a sudden, you'd put him in that backcourt, and you'd have a defensive backcourt. But anyway, the point is, that's the only thing that works. And I said this earlier, the idea of, do I think that if James Harden could rise and shine in the playoffs with LeBron and Chris Paul? Yeah, I do think he would. I think he'd be better with those two around him. And Chris Paul played the best playoff series I've ever seen him play until he got hurt against Golden State. And they would have won that if he hadn't gotten hurt.
I'm not convinced they would have won. I think they had a better shot.
They had him on the ropes, man.
No, they had him on the ropes, but I still think the Warriors would have won that series.
Okay, but do I think LeBron fits my eye test in Houston? I don't. Do I think he wants to go live there to drag his family? Nothing against the city of Houston, but it's just not LeBron's kind of place. It's not his city. It's not where he belongs. But he's got two houses in the Brentwood section, the exclusive section, not too far from us here on the west side of Los Angeles. He would love here. He has Hollywood roots already growing here. So why wouldn't it make sense to be here? I get you in Philly. That would work. If you want to stay east, you should join that, because those are two young nuclear weapons that are coming. I got that.
I just believe that LeBron needs to tell the Cavs what he's going to do ASAP. The draft, Skip, is on, what, Thursday? So with that being said, the Cavs need to have a direction. Do we move this pick and try to acquire someone for LeBron?
Just to say stay or go?
Right, exactly. So it would give them some peace of mind what he's thinking. But look, he doesn't have to give them his decision until the 29th. But I'm pretty sure you know you're going to opt out the contract. You're not opting in. So
you're going to opt out.
Right, you're going to opt out. So let them know. LeBron needs to understand. He needs to show a level of commitment to teams that he wants to show them. Skip, he's cost himself some all-star teammates and maybe a championship caliber team because of his unwillingness to commit to the Cavaliers long-term.
Bravo.
Guys do not want to come. If they're coming to Cleveland, they're coming to play with LeBron.
That's why nobody wants to go.
They're not going to hold on.
Wait, do I hear Shannon Sharp criticizing
Yes.
LeBron James?
Bravo. Bravo.
I will praise when praise is warranted, but I'll also criticize when criticism is warranted.
This is a first
But
for me.
it's not the first. LeBron bears some culpability, Skip.
Okay.
Because guys are saying, if I'm going to Cleveland, I'm not going for any other reason. Not the Indians, not the Browns, not to be on Lake Erie. Skip, I don't know if that, who's that? Lake Erie? Comes off the, yeah. I'm going to play with LeBron. Well, he's not long-term. He can opt out after this year, or he can opt out after 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign a 4 or 5 year deal
I got it.
when you can be up out of there.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and tell him, bruh, this is what what can you do? Can you trade that pick and get somebody that a superstar that will come alongside me? Skip, all things being equal, I believe LeBron would rather stay in Cleveland. But I do not believe he thinks at this juncture Dan Gilbert can put the necessary pieces around him. He's taken that team, that group, as far as he can take them.
I always think that to me was always one of the negatives about LeBron's career, is that he couldn't get other people to want to play with him, regardless to where it is. It's about winning. Cleveland is just, you don't have to commit to the city. You live there during the basketball season. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of cities around. People lived in Buffalo football-wise, right? And went to 4 straight Super Bowl. You just, if you have a winning situation there.
Yeah, but here's
they
the
never
thing.
committed to him.
But the piece that, okay, I want to come, is that he's only on 1 year deal. He's on a 2-year deal.
No,
These guys don't have the luxury that LeBron. See, LeBron is making 50+ million off the court. So LeBron can play for, 10, 15 million. But also this, Skip. LeBron needs to ask himself this one simple question. What's more important to you? An extra $10 to $12 million in annual salary, or a chance to put a team together where you take less money and win a ring? Because that's what Kevin Durant did.
But he never wants to give up money. He wants the max. He wants every nickel.
Well, you look at the guys that have done it.
So, Shannon Sharp,
Yes.
you are asking LeBron James to tell Cleveland ahead of the draft and
Yes.
to aid the owner that once upon a time accused LeBron James of quitting in his final playoff
Yeah, you
series
came
the
back
first go-round in
Hell,
Cleveland.
you came back and played for him, so that should be water under the bridge.
So it's over?
It
Like-
should be.
Okay.
You done been there for 4 years.
Skip, would you have ever come back if you
Hell no.
You wouldn't have, and Shannon, I know you wouldn't have.
No.
You know I would
I know
not
you
have.
would not have, and that's what I'm saying.
Bridge burned.
No matter what.
Bridge
no
burned.
matter what. And
I mean, unless you thought you did quit.
No.
it was probably more about just that it was his hometown, and he never wanted to be the villain the rest of his life, where he could never show up there again. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, just go ahead and let them know. So that they'll have it, well, do we need to stay pat and select the player, and this is going to be our future moving forward, or do we try and package this along with someone else, and maybe we can get something?
What did Green Bay finally do with Brett Favre? Remember they just said, okay, dude, we can't do this anymore. You know what I mean? And cut bait.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you got Aaron
Well,
Rodgers.
you know,
I know.
And he'd been waiting for 3 years,
Yeah.
not
Am I
2,
right?
3.
I know. And they finally just said, we can't do this.
It would
every
probably
year.
be a lot easier if they had Kyrie, where they could say, okay, you do what you got to do.
Although you always tell me they had Kyrie early and it didn't do any good.
Well, Kyrie, he was
But
a different player. And if you had Kyrie now, you could like, okay, we're gonna build a different type of team around what Kyrie does really well. Because Kyrie and LeBron are two different players. LeBron's a superstar, Kyrie's a superstar in his own right.
Yep.
But they do different things really, really well. So Dan Gilbert says, this is how I'm gonna build the team now. I'm going to build it around Kyrie.
Sure.
But he doesn't have that play. Well, you going to build it around Kevin Love? You going to build it around George Hill?
Yeah.
JR? Tristan. So he's in a bind right now. I just wish LeBron would just go ahead and say, bro, you know I'm opting out. If you can trade that and can entice me to stay, I'm all over.
Because it is what it is, so you might as well just say what it is.
This is what it is.
Exactly.
We all know.
The likelihood of you opting in is not very good.
Dismal, I would say, probably.
Yes.
So the next question is, should Aaron Rodgers actually be ranked higher than what some call the GOAT, Tom Brady? We'll discuss it next.
Everybody calls it.
No,
No, I don't. I don't call him the load. He's the load.
So.